What's going on, y'all? It's Greg. Greg said it with a late inspiration motivation, but y'all, I had to get it in. Shout out to everybody who was at the live earlier today. And we talked about why Shedeur should be number one and proof that he is number one. He is and should have. And there's no excuse that he wasn't number one. And we broke down the many reasons. Some were, his history with turnaround programs and been that the top programs typically need a quarterback because that's typically why you lose. But usually, top program usually gets one of the best players because they need them the most. That's how the draft is set up, and these teams are the ones who had the worst season. That's how you get there. So, minute you have a guy who, one, is a quarterback, and two, he's just not a good player, but he's done it with some of the worst situations. That makes him really a truly valuable first round pick. He's proven. Sometimes you can get guys who are good just on a good team, they hit on nothing. And then I also talked about the fact that he put butts in the seat. And, he attracts the fans. That's another thing that a program, anybody needs, but definitely one organization who's been losing for a while. Typically the fan base is giving up on them, just like we've seen in Colorado. Another reason was that he leads the team in a way that inspires them. One of the biggest things that we see with Shedeur is that the people who play with him want to play with him. He inspires them to play well. One thing you can see in the NFL, if they don't feel like they got the right leadership or the right support, or nobody cares, they be like, I don't care, I'm going to get my millions of dollars, get my check and move on. It's not like college. You really have to have a spark in that team for everybody just want to come out and have that childlike joy to play the game. Or else you can just take that check. And Shedeur is one person where everybody gravitates to him. They have a good time. He jokes. He just keep it light. And he's just a people's person. And that's where, you can see the benefit of that in the locker room, especially in a team that's struggling, has struggled historically. So, those were just some of the things we talked about. But one of the things that is concerning is we're hearing rumors that Shedeur is not getting the reps with the first team. We're hearing it over and over. How long do you keep hearing it? We heard it a week ago. We heard it before that, everybody's going to get the same amount of reps. It's a fair opportunity. And then we start hearing, okay, well, they're having other practices that the media is not at. Maybe he's getting it in. Well, it's just ironic that every time you are there, he's the only one not getting the reps. And that's like weird. Like, what kind of game are you playing? Like, what's the purpose of that? If that is the case where you say he's doing it when they're not there, but why would you want to do that? Like, you trying to cause a problem? Like, you said that they're going to get fair amounts. So the media should see that. You should see a rotation like you said. Now, if you weren't going to do that, why lie? Like I said, they don't know. That's the dumbest thing they can do. You're losing as an organization. You've been losing. You ain't really had no winning seasons like that. You had a couple decent years, but like, your fan base want the change. They want to see it. They want the excitement. They want a reason to go to the games and all of that. That's what they do in their pastime. But then you turn around and you go get all these quarterbacks. Like, you draft 2 quarterbacks, you bring in 2 other quarterbacks. One is old, one is a backup. You really ain't giving them a lot, especially with the history of the team. So it's like, what kind of game what are they really playing here? What's the game? It's a sick game. It looked like it's on Shedeur, but it's also on the fans. We look at Cleveland because they were in position to make the right decisions, and they didn't. They could have got Travis Hunter too, but they traded him for, down the road. And then they could have had Travis and Shedeur. And it's like, they despise Shedeur. It's like, what? The fans, like, what's going on? In this day and time, you really don't want to play those kind of games. This is this time, the season, the era of enlightenment, and the lights shine really bright on you. Coach Prime say it's really good, but it's like exposure's opportunity, but it's also show your wrinkles and your flaws. That's what the light does. And we in the time, maybe it's social media, maybe just the technology, I don't know, but people getting exposed, man, in every aspect of life, in every field, industry, whatever you want to call it, when people doing some weird stuff, and I don't know. I don't think that Cleveland really want to play that game because one thing about Shedeur and what he's bringing exposure. Like maybe I've been doing stuff a long time, but we get to really see the dumbness of your decision making when we see how you're interacting with him. We see you lie and we see you do all of that. It's like, what's really going on? You said that everybody's gonna get a shot. You said don't pay no attention to it, but you keep saying Shedeur, the only one in the same spot. Everybody else is part of that parade over there. He's over there in the corner, and he producing. Like, what's the excuse? Yeah, I hear even his name represents, being someone who puts the light on the thing. His name, and that's exactly what's happening, and that's what people say. We don't want to have Coach Prime and Shedeur around because of all this. Like because you can't hide the mess you're doing. And people gonna speak up, and they may speak up, and they have their own platform to do it, and have enough support to do it. So it's like, why play that game? Why are we looking at this? What? You only got so much time to, if you're gonna have opportunity to have opportunity. It means nothing because even if you give me the opportunity to be a starter, you didn't even give me the reps to prepare to be a starter. So it's like, how do you win that? How do you win that? Like, you're not giving me the reps with my teammates, with the, starting unit. You're not giving me the time to build a chemistry and rapport because you're playing dumb instead of just putting me in there. So now I get out there and it takes me even longer. So you put me in a position where I'm more than likely to not succeed that way. And definitely not do my best because I haven't had the proper time to prepare, And you sit here having me go to fourth string, and you promised that I was going to get to be first string sometimes, second. It's like, well, what are we doing? And you say, oh, they can be hiding other practices for what? What would be the purpose of that? Unless you're just childish, you want to poke the bear, which is the media and people watching. Like, it makes no sense. It's childish if that's the case. But it's also dumb that you brought this guy here and you don't want him. And you don't want to give him a shot. That would look really bad. Like, what are you doing? Don't play with people like that. But I'm under the impression that that's possible. That's possible. That's why I said make the noise. Because see, in life, nobody wants to be, done a certain way and nobody see it. It's like everybody blinded. In life, you want the exposure. You want the light to shine when people doing you wrong. You don't want to be hoping that everybody don't see what other people done wrong, but when you done wrong, you want the whole world to know. And sometimes people by nature, they attract the conflict. I don't know the Sanders seem to be doing. Yeah, you can say personality, but some people are just warriors, man. Everywhere they go, they just get into some mess. I say that stuff can be real. You designed to expose. And Shedeur is definitely, at this point, Coach Prime said, when I go somewhere, God's sending me to do something. I know because, I'm not going into no good and easy situation. He's basically I wouldn't say a trendsetter, but he's basically a person who's restoring a thing, who's bringing back excitement and joy. And it looks like Shedeur is doing the same thing. And with that, comes the eyeballs, the cameras, and everything else. With that comes the exposure. Because he's there. And people looking at how you treat him. He's not a nobody where you can just dog him out and send him on his way and nobody say, hey, that wasn't right. You do him wrong, people going to be watching. And that's a good thing. To have people like that on your side. It's good to be that person to make sure people are not abused and mistreated. It's good to have, we should all support each other like that. Shouldn't be hypocritical. You shouldn't only want certain people to have support and other people don't. You don't want to be that way because you got to do unto others what's done to you. That's why I say we should do it. And it's like, nobody want to be that dog like that. Somebody make it like it's okay. Nobody wants to be treated like that. You know, unfairly or misunderstood. Nobody wants to be treated like that. You should never applaud that. But this is what we have here. It's weird. And like I said, we're going to watch this thing all the way through. It's time moving. There's only so much time you get an opportunity. Because you can't prepare to be number one when you're still at number 4. And everybody dismissing everything you do is, oh, you're doing it with the bag of people who ain't going to be here. But then let them do it with the ones. But we ain't going to see that for one reason or another. Who knows? But I guess we'll see. Surely the truth will come to light. Y'all, I'm just Greg said it. Make sure y'all like, share, subscribe, comment, and I'll be talking to y'all soon. Y'all have a good one.